Right friends, welcome back to Why and How for 10th week. The first one is some farmers groups have given a joint submission to CACP seeking revision in minimum support price for kharif crops. Why? Because they are asking there were some losses because of demonetization. That's why they are asking increase in minimum support price. And two things I would like to tell you. This minimum support price is recommended by CACP. CACP is a Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. This recommends minimum support prices and Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs accepts it. Normally, the decisions are accepted as it is. So, CACP recommends the minimum support prices and Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs headed by the Prime Minister accepts the recommendations. So, here there are 7 cereal crops like paddy, wheat at the same time, 5 pulses like tur dal, moong dal, urad dal, at the same time oil seeds and commercial crops. So, these are all comes under the purview of CACP and CACP recommends. Look at the next one. Andhra Pradesh government is planning to have a high-tech war on mosquitoes. Here it is planning to use optical sensors and this is planned to be implemented in 3 cities of Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam and Tirupati, and 10 sensors will be deployed per each square kilometer and these sensors will be fixed to electricity poles. What is the purpose of sensor? With these sensors, the type of mosquitoes, how many mosquitoes are there, what is exact species, these can be found automatically because this data will be transmitted to the central database and subsequently sprays can be prioritized based on the data. What type of sprays and how much quantity are to be sprayed, these all can be decided based on the type of mosquitoes available there. So, these optical sensors which will be fixed on electrical poles will find what type of mosquitoes and up to what extent these are available in the atmosphere, they will be found by these sensors. Right? So, Andhra Pradesh is going to do this type of experiment and last week we discussed about genetically modified mosquitoes and please listen that. Next one is OECD projects GDP growth of India at 7% for 16-17, 7.3% for 17-18 and 7.7% for 18-19. More than the figures, what is required is, what is OECD? OECD is the group of countries, 35 countries are there. India is not the member. OECD is based in Paris and OECD puts India's GDP growth for next 2-3 years at a reasonable figure of more than 7%. Look at the next one. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau has successfully coordinated and completed Operation Thunderbird and Operation Save Kurma. So here this Operation Thunderbird is basically to end poaching of India's wildlife animals. And this was done for a period of 3 weeks. You may have a doubt what is meant by Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. This is the statutory body established in 2007 to protect wildlife in the country, basically to assist state governments. And another important aspect is it also assists foreign authorities and international organizations concerned to facilitate coordinated and universal action for wildlife crime control. And it is a statutory multidisciplinary body under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. This is one aspect and the second aspect is Operation Thunderbird. This is the operation to end poaching of India's wildlife animals and Operation Save Kurma. This was also undertaken for a period of more than a month, basically to save turtles, right? So, if someone talks about these two, please don't forget Operation Thunderbird to prevent poaching of wildlife animals, Operation Save Kurma to save turtles. Look into the next one. March 6 was the last day of the oldest aircraft carrier of Indian Navy, that is INS Viraat. INS Viraat, you should have some idea about what is meant by INS Viraat because it is into the news in recent times. INS Viraat was originally HMS Hermes. The original name of INS Viraat was HMS Hermes. It was originally commissioned into the British Royal Navy in 1959 and subsequently India purchased it in 1986 and it was commissioned into Indian Navy as INS Viraat in May 1987. Now it is decommissioned on March 6, 2017. So before decommissioning, it was world's oldest aircraft carrier. So that is one part of the story. And the second point is Andhra Pradesh government wants to convert it into a museum near Visakhapatnam, either museum or hotel near Visakhapatnam, and government wants to take it up as a joint venture with Union of India. And here Andhra Pradesh government proposed that it will be developed as SPV with the cooperation from center because the cost involved is very high and it involves regular maintenance cost of every year 150 crores and response from center is not known. And if you look at aircraft carriers, this is INS Viraat was decommissioned on 6th March and after this only one aircraft carrier will be there in service, that is INS Vikramaditya, and previously INS Vikrant was decommissioned in 97. Now Viraat was decommissioned on 6th March. Now only INS Vikramaditya will be in service. The central government has launched first ever river survey in Ganges to determine the population of aquatic life, basically endangered Gangetic dolphin. So basically this is the first ever river survey in Ganga river and basically this creates a baseline scientific data for the government to take suitable measures to improve quality of the river water as per NMCG. So this first leg of the census was launched from Narora to Bijnor and Allahabad to Varanasi stretch will be launched shortly. And here one should know a little about this Gangetic river dolphin. Gangetic river dolphin is the national aquatic animal of India, please don't forget. It is also called a tiger of Ganga and it is the freshwater dolphin and IUCN which gives the status of various wildlife that gave endangered status for this dolphin. So as per IUCN, this Gangetic river dolphin is endangered and at the same time it is also placed in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So if you want something more about IUCN, IUCN is headquartered in Gland, Switzerland and this Gangetic river dolphin is also our national aquatic animal, that is one part, and Gangetic river dolphin which is known as a Sihu is also declared as a city animal of Guwahati and this IUCN declared this Gangetic river dolphin as endangered in 1996 and the biggest threat to Gangetic river dolphin is the development of National Waterway 1. So National Waterway is going to be developed and because of this, this river dolphin may be threatened. And please don't forget, this National Waterway 1 is going to be developed with World Bank assistance and please look into this picture. National Waterway starts from Allahabad up to Haldia. It runs through 4 states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. And the construction of National Waterway 1 may threaten this Gangetic river dolphin. Look at the next one. A major portion of Kolleru Lake bed has dried up and it raised anxiety not only among the residents but also birds are going to be worst affected. And please don't forget Atapaka Bird Sanctuary. Atapaka Bird Sanctuary is situated in Kolleru Lake. Please look into this picture. This is Kolleru Lake. It is in Andhra Pradesh, and this is home to this painted storks. At the same time, spot-billed pelicans. So, this Atapaka Sanctuary and Kolleru Lake are home to these pelicans and storks, and these are being threatened now because the lake has dried up, right? So, if someone talks about Atapaka Bird Sanctuary, this is in Kolleru Lake of Andhra Pradesh. Look into the next one. The Unique Identification Authority of India, or UIDAI, said that there has been no incident of misuse of Aadhaar biometrics leading to either identity theft or financial loss. So, Aadhaar is perfectly safe as per UIDAI, and UIDAI also said that there was an isolated case of an employee working with the bank's business correspondence company, and otherwise, in fact, the Aadhaar network basically uses advanced encryption technologies, so it is perfectly safe as told by UIDAI. Recently, National Family Health Survey 4 was released, and the alarming fact is 58% of children below 5 years are anemic. What is the meaning of anemic? Anemic means they suffer from insufficient hemoglobin in their blood. If insufficient hemoglobin is there, it is called anemic. What will happen because of anemic? Because of anemic, they will be vulnerable to infections and their brain development will also be affected. And in certain parameters, our progress is not satisfactory. And here, look at some aspects. Infant mortality rate. I explained in the facts and figures module that infant mortality rate declined from 57 to 41 in 10 years. It declined from 57 to 41. If someone talks about what is infant mortality rate in our country, it is at present 41. That means 41 deaths occur before the child attains 1 year of age per 1000 live births. Then second positive development is institutional births increased from 39% to 79%. So, the deliveries in hospitals or under the supervision of the authorized person increased to 79%. During the past 10 years, it got doubled. So, it is the positive development. And another important aspect is total fertility rate declined to 2.2 children per woman from 2.7. So, the fertility rate declined to 2.2 and the target rate is 2.1. So, if you look at other aspects, the biggest drawback is, look at certain aspects, we are not yet reached satisfactory figures. If you look at the stunted children, there are still 38% of stunted children and 21% of wasted children, and underweight children are 36% and anemic children are 58%. And as just now I have told you, anemic means that not having sufficient hemoglobin, and 58% children are suffering from anemic disorder. And if you want what is meant by stunted, wasted, underweight, wasted means kids with low weight relative to their height. When kids are low weight relative to their height, that is wasting. Stunting means low height relative to their age, and underweight means those with a low weight relative to their age. So, if you look at stunted children, our position is not satisfactory. Anemic, our position is not satisfactory. Underweight, our position is not satisfactory. IMR as per NFHS 4 is 41. Please don't forget. So, look at the next one. Tirunelveli town in Tamil Nadu became the first in the country to achieve 100% segregation of waste at source across households and establishments. This town Tirunelveli is situated in South Tamil Nadu with a population of around 5 lakhs. It became the first town in the country to segregate biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. And please recollect the solid waste management rules of 2016. In 2016, central government issued solid waste management rules where segregation of waste at source is required, and several rules are given. So, these are various solid waste management rules. Please recollect those rules, and at source this segregation of waste was done as biodegradable, non-biodegradable in Tirunelveli town. This is in South Tamil Nadu, right? So, this is good development. So, Tirunelveli became the first town to implement this SWM rules of 2016. Researchers from Columbia University and New York Genome Center have stored a computer operating system, a short movie along with other data in DNA. So, what is the advantage of storing data in DNA? The storing data in DNA basically results in highest density data storage device. Then the second important point is it can last hundreds of thousands of years. These two are the advantages. So, the researchers showed that their coding strategy packed 215 petabytes of data in a single gram of DNA, and it was the highest density data storage device ever created. And if it is stored in right temperature at right place, then it can last hundreds of thousands of years, right? So, this is the experiment of storing data in DNA was done by Columbia University and New York Genome Center. Look at the next one. Donald Trump administration has issued a new executive order. Now, he left out Iraq and for 6 countries, that is Sudan, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia and Yemen. Look at these 6 countries. Out of these 6 countries, Somalia, then Sudan, then Libya, these 3 are African countries, and Libya is having 2 governments. The situation is not satisfactory, and Yemen, already civil war is going on, and Syria is into civil war, and either due to internal conflict or the state is a state sponsorer of terrorism. Citing these 2 reasons, now a new executive order was brought by Donald Trump. So, there will be 90-day ban on the issuance of new visas for the citizens of these 6 countries, and the refugee program will be suspended for 120 days. Overall, refugees are also reduced to 50,000 from 1,10,000. Right? Look into the next one. The National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, NIIF. What is the meaning of NIIF? This National Investment and Infrastructure Fund will basically look at the investment required for creating huge infrastructure in our country, and the government will give share of rupees 20,000 crore, and here government's shareholding will be limited to 49% in NIIF. Basically, government will give rupees 20,000 crore and private investment will be attracted through this NIIF, so as to take care of infrastructure requirements in our country. So, Sujay Bose is the CEO of NIIF, and talks are going on with the 2 sovereign wealth funds. Sovereign wealth funds means the countries which have surplus budgets, and the countries maintain these sovereign wealth funds. They maintain sovereign wealth funds basically to invest this money at appropriate places to get better returns, and at the same time the purpose of sovereign wealth funds is basically to take care of future needs of those countries. Right? Look into the next one. China decided to cut steel capacity by 50 million tons and coal output by more than 150 million tons. Steel output it is going to cut because China's creation is excess capacity. Excess capacity in steel is created in China already, and its production is around 800 million tons. So, steel production in China is around 800 million tons, and if you compare it with India, it is 6 to 8 times more. And at the same time, it is going to cut coal output by 150 million tons. What are the reasons for these two decisions? The reason for the first decision is it is already having excess supply in steel. Second reason is to reduce global pollution, or basically to reduce pollution levels in its cities and towns, which have gone beyond the limit. Basically, to reduce carbon emissions in the country, China has gone for this. So, overall plan is to cut 150 million tons of steel capacity and 800 million tons of coal by 2020. Government also announced to cut energy consumption per capita by 3.4%. Maldives government denied that it was selling a cluster of small islands to Saudi Arabia. And here I have to tell you, in 2015, this Maldives, you may have a doubt, where is Maldives? Please look into this. Maldives is a small country having number of islands. This is in Indian Ocean, and Maldives in 2015 lifted the ban on foreign ownership of land. It lifted the ban on foreign ownership of land. And now the opposition accused the government of ceding control of inhabited atoll of Fafu to Saudi Arabia. So, as the ban is lifted on foreign ownership of land, now government came up with one proposal to attract foreign investment to develop the islands, but the opposition says that it is giving control of this inhabited atoll of Fafu to Saudi Arabia. This is not palatable for India because Maldives is situated quite close to India in Indian Ocean, and some other countries' presence in the islands of Maldives is not palatable for India. And here, atoll. You may have a doubt what is meant by atoll. In fact, Maldives has got a number of atolls. Atolls are nothing but ring-shaped coral reef that encircles a lagoon. Here you see this is ring-shaped and these are coral reefs. And what is meant by lagoon basically? Lagoon is basically the separated water body from larger body of water. So, this lagoon may be coastal lagoon. That means it is separated from the ocean near coastal areas. So, separated water from the overall oceans near the coastal areas is coastal lagoon, and if the same thing happens in between the ocean or sea, it is atoll lagoons, right? So, atoll lagoons are basically surrounded by coral reefs. So, these atolls of Maldives are basically surrounded by coral reefs. And you may have a doubt what is meant by coral reef. Coral reefs are nothing but diverse underwater ecosystems held together by calcium carbonate structures secreted by corals. And Great Barrier Reef of Australia is one example of coral reef, and now the ecosystem of Great Barrier Reef of Australia is threatened because of rise in ocean temperatures. So, presence of another country near our backyard is not palatable to us. Then China proposed a double suspension formula to diffuse the crisis in Korean Peninsula. And if you look at Korean Peninsula, the country towards south is South Korea, north is North Korea, and in between them is a demilitarized zone, and North Korea is now aggressively going for missile tests. nuclear tests, and South Korea. Joint exercises are going on between South Korea and USA, and missile defense system THAAD is also going to be established in South Korea. So now China is proposing North Korea should suspend nuclear and missile activities. At the same time, South Korea and United States of America's military exercises must also be suspended. Then subsequently, people can go to the negotiating table. This is the proposal of China. Sugar situation in our country may turn explosive during 2017-18. In fact, sugar production during 2016-17 season reduced by 5 million tons. Previously, last year we produced 25 million tons. This year the production is expected to be 20 million tons. There is a reduction of 20%. Now Uttar Pradesh replaced Maharashtra as the number one producer. So number one sugar producer during 16-17 most probably going to be Uttar Pradesh, and our annual requirement is around 25 million tons and our production is going to be 20 million tons. But we have opening stock of around 5 to 6 million tons, and the most important aspect is government should look at orderly environment in market, otherwise country may face sugar shock during the September-October months of this year. Right? So just like pulses, now in sugar this year our production is going to be 5 million tons less than the requirement, but we are going to survive because of the existing stocks or existing inventory. Agriculture Ministry banned 6 farm products from Vietnam, including coffee and pepper, on concern of phytosanitary issues. So, in agriculture exports and imports, one word please don't forget, phytosanitary issue. What is phytosanitary issue? This pertains to agriculture. So, here this is with regard to the presence of harmful pests and plant diseases. If we are importing something from other country, if it constitutes, especially in agricultural products, if presence of harmful pests and plant diseases are there, then it will affect our crops in future. That's why this phytosanitary issues will be looked at while importing agriculture products from other countries. So, the present issue is with regard to coffee beans and pepper. The country we are talking about is Vietnam. More than that, please understand what is the meaning of phytosanitary issue, right? Look into the next one. The discussion for unified regulator is gaining momentum subsequent to the spat over HDFC issue between SEBI and RBI. Recently what happened? HDFC bank shares, please don't forget, in the banking sector, FDI/FPI is allowed up to 74%. This is declared by DIPP. Subsequently, foreign exchange is monitored by RBI, and when 74% limit is exceeded, then normally RBI should ask SEBI to stop trading, to give instructions to stop trading. But what happened is RBI directly gave instructions to stock brokers to stop trading, and the limit of 74% is breached. So, this led to SEBI writing a letter to RBI. So, because of all these incidents, now the momentum for unified regulator is gaining ground, right? So, this unified financial regulator we are going to deliberate in a separate capsule. So, in view of International Women's Day on March 8th, government showcased 3 flagship programs which benefited women. One is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and this is to arrest alarming decline in child sex ratio and to look at the welfare of girl child. And Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, this is to provide LPG connection to poor women. Central government will give assistance of rupees 1600 per each connection. Third one is Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana. This is basically to ensure a secure future for the girl child. So, these three programs was showcased by the central government on the eve of International Women's Day on March 8th. Right friends, with this we came to the end of this why and how. Please do join for newspaper editorial discussion and other capsules. Have a nice day. Thank you.